Throughout the production process, I tried to make the most professional and enjoyable products that I could. There were multiple methods through which I was able to do this. I needed various editing techniques, like filters, for instance. The main way I tried to improve the quality of my film was from upgrading my equipment. This was a process that had to be done on a low budget, as is often the case with short films. I tried to upgrade my equipment in the cheapest way possible, and feel I did this effectively. The camera I used was a Canon 1100 DSLR. It's a good quality camera, and I already owned it, so I didn't have to buy it specifically for this project. It worked really well in the first filming session. However, when it came to the dialogue, I noticed a problem. I realised that the dialogue was almost inaudible in all of the scenes. This was a huge problem, as it's crucial, and without it, the audience has no way of understanding the film. To resolve this, I bought a selfie stick. I decided to record the sound on my phone and sync the video and audio later in the production process. The selfie stick acted as a makeshift boom and meant that I could record the dialogue from a position which was much closer to the actors without having to change the camera angles. Syncing the audio and video was more difficult than I anticipated because there was no tool in the editing software to help me. The challenging process of editing was more than worth it when I listened to the edited footage. It was so much better than before. For the ambient sound, I decided to use the inbuilt microphone on the camera because I felt it picked up more of the background noise and created a better atmosphere for the film. Also, it was much easier to edit, which was a plus. After I had improved the sound quality, I decided to improve my filming process of the film. I realised that I should use a tripod in every single scene. If the footage is shaky, then there's little you can do to edit aside from cutting out scenes. This meant I had to improve my filming technique to solve the problem. To do this, I decided to use a range of different stability devices. Combining these meant there was no filming location that wouldn't accommodate a tripod. To edit the film, I used Final Cut Express on an Apple MacBook Pro. It worked really well and gave me a lot of functions to improve my film. For instance, I used the motion blur feature to create a surreal and psychedelic mood for the transitioning scene of the film. I was most proud of this scene, and I felt it created a vehicle between the good and the bad side of the film, which mirrors the good and bad personalities of the two main characters. Another editing technique I used was the transparency tool. I was able to show the shot of the character reading a letter and a photograph of the letter at the same time. This worked well as it meant the audience had a better understanding of the letter, which is an important detail in the plot. I found the transparency tool really useful and discovered that I could use it to create a surreal tone of the previous scenes. I faced many limitations whilst producing my work. One of the biggest was the outdated nature of Final Cut. Even though it was capable of producing a decent looking film, it was terribly unreliable. I think it was due to it being quite an old version of Final Cut. It would suddenly delete the unsaved work every so often without any warning. This caused huge problems during the editing stage of my film, as it meant I would be redoing footage and wasting so much time. This may have been a good thing, as it gave me the opportunity to rethink some of the scenes. For instance, I realised that I needed an establishing shot of the house before the older character goes in. This is a scene that might have been left out, had it not been for Final Cut's unreliability. Another limitation I faced was the battery on my camera. It has never been a problem during filming for me before, but on this occasion I found I needed to charge the camera before every filming session. Unfortunately, on the second filming session, I forgot to charge the camera, and found that I could either try and film everything in a matter of minutes, or reschedule the session. I decided to reschedule for later that day, and it didn't become a massive problem. However, it was quite frustrating for the actors and I have definitely improved my use of technologies from my ASL project. I feel like I'm more aware of the type of skills and techniques that will look impressive in a short film. I have also discovered the value of a tripod. In my opening sequence, I never used a tripod in the more awkward shots, for instance, a shot filmed from a tight location. However, it was in my short film that I decided to invest in a GorillaPod, essentially a small tripod to be placed on any surface. It meant there were few locations I couldn't use a tripod for my filming. I even managed to fashion a makeshift shoulder mount out of it for a few of the scenes. Overall, I feel I've used the technologies in my project effectively. I feel I was imaginative in the filming stage and was able to use Final Cut at a good standard in the editing sessions. An improvement I could have made if given the opportunity to redo my film would be the creativity of my production pieces. I feel like I wasn't adventurous enough throughout the filming and production process. This is an adjustment I feel would make the film and ancillary tasks look more professional. For instance, I feel I could have made more adventurous camera angles in the film to make it more gripping. Aside from this, I feel I did a good job at using technology effectively.